Welcome to Project Serious, a not-so-serious podcast about gaming, tech, entertainment, and whatever other BS we can come up with to keep you entertained. I'm your host, Seriously Shadows, and whether or not it's just me, or there's someone else to give you a little bit of a break from my voice, I hope I don't annoy you enough not to stay tuned. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever time you're in. Seriously Shadows here. Welcome to the first official episode of Project Serious. I've tried recording a couple times and it hasn't really hit the way I want it to. The first time, I think I was not only nervous, but not really speaking on what I wanted to speak on. Second time I was sick. I got sick, so that held me up for a good 2 weeks. I got super sick, and you could still hear the remnants of it in my voice now, which sucks, but it's not as bad as it was. I don't know. Y'all would have had me admitted if y'all would have heard my voice before. And then there was a third time. Did I try 3 times? Yeah, I tried 3 times. Third time, kept getting interrupted. Couldn't do it how I wanted to. It was just all bad. I still didn't even come up with things the way I wanted to come up with things. Quick introduction. I've changed things up drastically since Not So Serious Podcast. I like the way that was going, and there's some ideas that will kind of influence this, but for the most part, I'm trying to come up with something a little more cohesive for me, a little more fun to listen to too. This episode specifically might not be as fun, especially because 1, I'm by myself. 2, I'm still coming up with stuff. Like, it'll get fun by I get next year, which is by the time of this recording in a few weeks. So, but plenty of ideas coming in, trying to get things together, bunch of new stuff, bunch of fun stuff, lots of crazy stuff to talk about too. So being kind of more of a random topic podcast with emphasis on gaming, that'll leave room for some fun stuff, I think. I hope. I mean, we'll see, right? It is what it is. Just bear with me. Gotta get through it. I'm hoping I can A, have guests soon, B, get a co-hosting thing going. Nobody ever wants to talk about games with me. No, but I guess one of my major problems is, we know the type of gamer that I am. No, y'all probably don't. This is literally the first episode. So unless you know me, you don't know what type of gamer I am. I'm heavily biased towards JRPGs. So you'll catch by when the first topic comes around, heavily biased one way, and a lot of stuff I talk about will come up that way, but I'll try to switch it up quite a bit. There's a lot of stuff that I have planned. There's stuff that I want to tie into my other show, quote unquote, that's a little different, because that's more of a dev diary, because I'm in the process of becoming a designer, or like whatever all that entails. And I was definitely supposed to turn that off. If you're wondering, I am currently recording from my cell phone. Like, what? I hope I sound good for me to be recording from my phone. But the problem being, when I forget to turn things off, like my vibrate, you're gonna hear weird stuff. Anyway, and I also gotta figure out like what's too close from this thing, what's too far. I mean, this should be the only episode that I'm recording like this. Everything else should be on my mic, full setup, all good, whatever. This was just kind of like, I needed to get this done, because if I keep putting it off for different reasons, it'll never get done. Or by the time it gets done, it's going to go through 20,000 changes again. So I'm trying to keep things kosher, keep things rolling. I don't even know how some of this is going to go, because like for right now, it might be spread. I don't know if it's going to be weekly, bi-weekly, because of the holidays. But after the holidays, everything will be a little more solid. They'll be a little more scheduled. Everything will kind of even out. But I wanted to take a little bit of time to kind of explain myself, because I kind of want you guys to know what you're getting into by listening. Little heads up, I don't know, warning. I mean, can you warn people of good things? Like, is it only a warning if it's bad? I don't know, whatever. I also am like tossing around in my head how I want to publish all of this. I mean, obviously, podcast, or like all your streaming sites, Spotify, Pandora, all that fun stuff. Those are going to go, like the whole episode's going to go one shot, boom, every time it uploads, you're good to go. YouTube is where I might do things a little differently. I might break up each like segment and post the segment separately. But for somebody that's going to listen, is that annoying? Because like, they're obviously different topics. And so them in and of themselves could be different videos, separate videos. But from like a podcast standpoint, I guess it'll be different when I start doing a live video along with the podcast, because that might change things up a bit. I might not do it that way, or I might reinforce me doing it that way. We'll see. For now, I think I'm going to try the first episode separate pieces, see how it does. And then I'll try, maybe I'll try both. I'll try the full episode in full, and then the 3 separate pieces. And then we'll see what, like, I don't know. Maybe I'll have some people that I can ask and get some feedback on that. Excuse me. But today, I hope that the conversations I want to have with you are interesting. I guess for YouTube, the reason I thought about the split is because, like, the way that I have this set up, like today's especially, if you're not into gaming, you're obviously out after the first story. I don't know if that, like, I mean, I guess if you're not into gaming, why are you here in the first place? But I'm not trying to blow down on you. It's fine. It's okay. What I want to like, I'll figure out how this works. We're gonna figure it out. We'll do it together. We'll figure it out. Solidarity. I'm getting weird. All right. Um, Anything else that I want to go over before we like get into it? Um, no, fun stuff planned for the future. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to try to do some work with my other show and see for like the beginning of the year if we can get some fun stuff going. Oh, yep. Okay. So we're going to call that there. I'm going to not shut up because I have to keep talking. Literally, I'm going to be talking to you constantly for the whole, I don't even know how long this is going to end up being. So I obviously have to talk to you the whole time. So I'm not shutting up, but I'm going to stop expositioning. Whatever I'm doing right now. I'm going to stop doing that and let's jump into the fun stuff, or not fun stuff, depending on your perspective. So, maybe I shouldn't jump in with such a loud sorry, headphone users, my bad. First thing I want to talk to you guys about today, Final Fantasy VII. More like Final Fantasy VII Remake, the first Soldier, Final Fantasy VII. Anyway, awesome stuff going on. We actually just, at the time of this recording, yesterday we just had Final Fantasy VII Remake release for PC. Super exciting. I am not an owner of a PS5, so I never got to play Intergrade. I'm super excited that I finally get to indulge in the extra content. Definitely want to play Intermission really bad, and was thinking going over how I wanted to do everything, because like when Intergrade came out, or was coming out, when after it was announced, I totally stopped. I mean, I stopped streaming, period, at that point. But I had stopped streaming my hard mode playthrough of Remake because obviously, boom, here's Intergrade. There's more stuff. There's the whole Intermission chapter that I'm totally missing out on. And now, like, that's here. Shoot, I can play it. So we're definitely gonna get in on streaming that. And I didn't want to like do a normal playthrough on stream. I thought that'd be kind of weird, considering I wanted to jump into a hard mode playthrough. So what I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna start playing normal off stream, and for my first stream, probably about halfway through the story, I'm going to start streaming Intermission, because for me, it's a blind playthrough. I might have seen some videos on some cutscenes, but for me, it's a blind playthrough. So that should be fun, right? Also, after the Intermission stream, I should be able to hit up a hard mode on Intergrade, which should be fun, I think. Hopefully, maybe. Either way, I'm excited. I'm hoping that we can get some like lore stuff going on. I could start all my video ideas that I like procrastinated on for the past year. I'll be able to start jumping into stuff, because like I always felt like I was on the back burner because I'm missing so much stuff. Now I'll be able to catch up with at least what we have now. So maybe I can put my 2 cents in and actually sound intelligent. So we'll find out. Also, I held up my streaming the first soldier because, one, I got sick. Two, it didn't happen how I thought. I should have paid a little bit more attention to like the Discord and stuff. I was really excited to be able to play it on PC. I was not that lucky. I don't even know if it can be played. I don't know if they're going to want it to be played. I know their view on ports, PC and console. They're like really trying to focus on the game right now and keep giving feedback. And in the future, they might look into it. But for right now, they're focused on the game. They're too focused on the game to worry about ports because that's going to take a lot of time and resources. And obviously, how can they work on the game if they're working on that when the game is literally in its infancy? It just came out. So we will stream. I found out how I'm going to do it. I kind of get like what I was going to do. I mean, another blowback for me was I finally got rid of Streamlabs OBS. So for me, and like, if you haven't heard the issues with Streamlabs, look it up. There's plenty of YouTube videos, plenty of articles about why if morals is your thing, you might want to switch and get off of Streamlabs. If you want to stay, cool. I won't condemn you. I won't blame you, but I will never tell you to get on there. I currently use it for my other podcast now because, not wanting to, with that being scheduled, I don't want to switch and not have everything working before we switch and, everything not working. We have to cancel the show because, hey, everything's broken. But I totally switched my streams from that to regular OBS. I'm also trying to figure out how to get it to look exactly the way I want it to, because of the switch. But I've pretty much got it solid, and I'm gonna get to try it a couple times so then I can move my other show over also. So, as this didn't mean to be a conversation about Streamlabs, but a little 2 cents on the streaming part of The First Soldier. If you don't know, The First Soldier being a battle royale set in the Final Fantasy VII Remake universe. It's pretty fun if battle royales are your thing. If not gonna blame you. Don't have to touch it. You can try it if you like. It's for iOS and Android. Knock yourself out. It's totally free. It wouldn't hurt you to try. But if battle royales aren't your thing, I'm not gonna condemn you for not playing this game. I believe it's fun. I'm having fun with it, even like with the tweaks that need to be made. I still enjoy my time playing it. And I feel like there's so much more that could go into the game. So like being able to give feedback is nice. That's one thing. Oh, when a company actually cares about your feedback, always give your feedback and don't say stupid stuff on the internet. That's people's a big thing is they always want to claim all companies as anti-consumer and say they're doing all this stupid crap. Chill. Play the game. Your problems, give feedback. If your feedback never gets touched on, then say what you want. If your feedback gets literally acknowledged, then they're not so as anti-consumer as you think. And this, I don't even know how to call it anti-consumer because you don't have to spend any money in this game. Like if you like cosmetic stuff, if you're one of those Fortnite kids that have to have every skin, then yeah, you're probably going to have to, it's like you're going to see this game as some kind of cash grab, whatever. But you don't have to spend any money at all to enjoy the game. You earn things as you play. And if you're an adult, well, if you're listening to the show, you should be an adult. So if you're an adult, you don't care that cosmetics cost money. Be real. all that all that being said, I think we had a good time here. That's easy, quick coverage of Final Fantasy VII Remake and the First Soldier. More to come. I guess that was more of like a current to-do, like what's going on in the Final Fantasy VII world, and what I'm going to be doing with this useful to me information. But if it is your thing, check out the games yourself. If you're a Twitch watcher, if you're listening to this, you might be a Twitch watcher. Twitch.tv/SeriouslyShadows. I'll see you there. Come chat with me, especially while playing Final Fantasy VII, because, that game specifically, they say the dialogue. I'm not reading the dialogue. So give me something to chat about while I'm, bashing people with a Buster Sword. Just saying, like, come in the chat. We'll have a good time. We'll watch this game. If you've never seen it before, I'll even start from the beginning for you. If you have seen it before, then we're just chilling. Boom. All right. Next thing I want to cover is Cowboy Bebop. Well, specifically Netflix's Cowboy Bebop. Oh, Cowboy Bebop. Oh, Netflix. When will you learn to stop adapting anime into live action? You guys should know by now, cough, Death Note, cough, cough. You're not really good at adapting anime to anything. Leave it alone. Especially good ones. Death Note, Cowboy Bebop, leave it alone. Like, these are the ones you're hitting are ones that are serious, and like you're starting to go into like you want a live action One Piece, you want a live action Yu Yu Hakusho. Like, now it's funny because the way you do things, you might be able to make them work if you stick to your source material and actually use it for something instead of what you did. So, what are we talking about with Cowboy Bebop? RIP Cowboy Bebop. RIP Netflix Cowboy Bebop. It lasted its one season, and weeks later, it got canceled. It will not be coming back for season 2. I honestly wasn't too surprised. The thing did go from number 3, like randomly when I looked on Netflix one day, it went from number 3 on the platform, and a couple days later it was gone, and I'm like, wait, where's Cowboy Bebop? I thought it was on the list. People probably were curious, watched it. Some people liked it, most people didn't, and it dropped right off. I watched it. I suffered through it. My initial, my final unbiased thought was, if it was anything else, if they would have taken out some of the very specific Cowboy Bebop things and made their own story to fill in, it would have been a decent show on its own. Because the writers were good and bad at the same time. The actors were good. Sorry. Even when I didn't like them, I can't say they were doing a bad job, because you can tell. You can tell when the acting is bad and when the writing is bad. You can tell, because when the acting is bad, you watched them do it and the whole thing was cringy watching them do it. When the writing is bad, you heard it happen. The words that were said just don't register in your brain. You cringe from the words themselves and not from what you saw. So there is a difference between the writing and the acting. And I felt like, personality-wise, they should have left some characters alone. story-wise, they should have left some characters alone. Actually, the whole series, they should have just left alone. They could have made something decent themselves. But it makes me think that they had nothing, like nothing story-wise to write to fill in what Cowboy Bebop already had. So they had to have a base to add their own stuff onto. Because the changes don't make a lot of sense. The changes to the characters make even less sense. And it's not like, oh, in the anime, they don't seem like real people, so we made them seem like real people. It's more of, we're trying to make something that still could be viewed today the same way it could have been viewed when it came out, make it more relevant to today, make people, well, the sad thing is make people more one-dimensional then, if that's the case, which is severely sad. John Cho is Spike. You got a good actor to play Spike, but he's not good as Spike. Let me clarify, because that probably makes no sense. When you think of Spike, the 20-something, I guess I wouldn't really call him apathetic, but you can really call him apathetic cowboy. It doesn't fit John Cho's, like, the criticism of him being older isn't just it. Because the reason him being older doesn't fit is because when he says the line, it's not like Spike says the line. It's like your dad says the line dressed as Spike. It's kind of one of those things, like, because you see it. It's obvious it's there. It doesn't fit the same way. But good actor. Some of the lines, like some of the things he did and said made it like, this would have been so good if he was like an original bounty hunter character in a show that wasn't Cowboy Bebop. Like, he'd be a great main character in a different bounty hunter show with a similar premise. But don't make him Spike. Jet, I had my criticisms at first on why make Jet black, a black person, because now it's like they avoided the stereotype at first, but then you played right into it. And certain things get cringy because of it, but he did a great job at being Jet. Jet is the character that I think was probably written the worst, in a sense. The whole thing with his daughter, the constant obsession with his daughter, makes sense if you have this character. Like, with that backstory, it totally makes sense. But that's not something you have in the anime. And it kind of, like, it makes this weird whole, like, why, oh, you don't care about my daughter's gift for her birthday? You don't want my daughter to have a birthday? I'm like, that was probably one of the top 20 cringiest things that happened while I was watching. And I'm like, why is this being said? Why are we doing this? I know, like, it got a chuckle, but it also got huge cringe from me. It was not what I would expect, like, in the same situation as what I would expect Jet to do, I guess. I don't even think that. I think I'm trying to give them more credit. I feel like I'm trying to give them more credit. Faye was interesting. I feel like whoever took Faye and said, yes, this is what Faye would be like, didn't really watch the show. They kind of just took that she didn't just take shit from people, as she's kind of obnoxious. She didn't need to be that over the top and obnoxious, but I get what they were going for. Like, you lose a lot of the stuff, like you lose the femme fataleness, because I'm guessing they thought it would be troubling to have her use her looks as a weapon. It'd be troubling in today's climate or whatever. I don't, like, we're so far disconnected from media 10, 20, 30 years ago. The one thing, the way I know this show was not a virtue signal, though, the one way I know this show was not a virtue signal, they changed Gren's character so drastically that Gren was not in the Netflix adaptation. You can't give it to me. They changed the character so much. They took Gren's story and gave it to Spike, and then was like, yeah, side character, here you go. Gren's arc, though short-lived, was very important when characterizing Vicious. That was another huge problem. Vicious was the worst antagonist in a while. Like, they tried to make an anime antagonist, this cold, ruthless, I'll kill anybody, and I won't just kill anybody, I'm bringing a sword to a gunfight all day because you're all weak as shit. You took that and made him an emotional wreck, totally unstable, unhinged, and cringy still. And this whole, like, romantic backstory that it just, no. And then for him not to even be that strong, the sword was just a gimmick because he's not strong in the first place. He gets totally, completely outshined by Spike, and then gets outplayed and outsmarted by Julia, who is now alive still. And they make her set up as the antagonist. And one of the things I think that was a reason why it got canceled was because there's no way to take, like, especially if you start to follow the plots of the movies, there was nowhere to take it and add your extra plots on top of. You literally had to start writing your own show from that point. And I don't know if they were up to snuff for that. I don't know if that was going to work for literally anybody. Making the love interest the future antagonist. And I don't know, I can't remember if that was even a Netflix show, if it was a Hulu show. There was another show that tried it, and I think the next season, like, completely disappeared because of COVID. But it was like, oh, okay. And I can't even remember the show right now, but I really liked the show. And then when it ended the way it ended, I was like, oh God, I kind of want to see how this will play out, because I think they're going to write it and it's going to be bad. But it was the show where all the adults died, or became zombies, not died. They all became zombies because of whatever virus, and there were only kids left. Like, anybody over the age of 18, all zombies. And if I remember the name of the show, hopefully, or I mean, I'll probably be able to look it up when I'm not recording, but I'll probably throw that in the description as just an extra little thing, like, so you can go look at what I'm talking about. I feel like shows will try to do this to make it like, we're interesting, we're gonna do something that's flip the script on everybody, and either they don't follow through with it or it's bad, because making the love interest the antagonist sounds interesting, but if you don't write it well, it doesn't make sense, because normally you don't set up the love interest with the personality of being a ruthless dictator. Like it you don't set it up that way, and all of a sudden you're like, you know what? Today I choose violence. And it doesn't fit because it doesn't fit the character, and then you start writing it and it just no, bro. No. You should have left the anime alone. You should have, if you wanted to do an adaptation, you could have done a really good, like, not 1-to-1, but stick close to the source material, kind of pull, I want to say a Ghost in the Shell, how, like, it was okay, and the story doesn't make you think twice about it. Or, I mean, I'll give you one even better. Do Alita Battle Angel, where you're so separated from the source material that everything that you get close is a point in your favor. And everything that you change, your slight changes are fine because they're slight changes. Or don't focus on, using their words, fixing the anime, quote unquote. Don't worry about changing so much, but keeping, like, it's so weird. They threw things out of order. They changed what they did do. They changed it so much that it was like not even the same. It didn't have the same meaning. First, like switching the casino and what was that? Tijuana or whatever. Switching Tijuana and the friggin' casino, and then making the casino like some minuscule like opening, and that's it. And then going into Tijuana, throwing Faye in there, making like adding extra to the characters that wasn't there before, and the way you tied it to the syndicate was so much deeper than it was before, and all this stuff. And also making the whole thing, pretty much the whole show, like towards a certain part, is all on Tharsis, and change how Tharsis is, because wasn't that the planet of only men, and barely you went years without seeing a woman because women only came there to pass through. Like, so many things changed in so many ways that it's literally unrecognizable and weird and cringy. And I don't even want to talk about Ed, because I'm kind of glad that it stuck to the end and then they canceled the show, because people will criticize, oh, well, you can't translate that character into live action because it's going to just come out more cringy. But what they showed wasn't even just translating the character. It was another mischaracterization of the character. Instead of like blissful ignorance and sounding childlike and free, it was Call of Duty Screecher on, like, in your game chat on the microphone, yelling in your ear over stupid shit. Like, it wasn't the same. But I feel like how people saw children then versus how people see children now would probably make Ed a completely cringe character over the whole series. But, and there's also, like, I feel like they didn't want Ed in it, or they had a hard time writing Ed into it because of the way we put an Easter egg here on a QR code. Ed gets mentioned a couple times and then doesn't show up until the very end to talk about something. Like, Ed would have already been on the team, like on the team, on the ship by this point, and we're throwing completely off, and we're gonna throw Ed in at the end to open up for the next season. That's not happening. Haha. I don't know. I say drop it. Please don't do One Piece. Avatar, I think, is going to get completely trashed. The only thing I can say about Avatar is there's no way they can do nearly as bad as the M. Night Shyamalan, The Last Airbender. They can't. There's no way they can do that bad. So I would say just quit while you're ahead and drop it. But at least your litmus test is going to make it better than something that's already out there. Drop One Piece. Drop Yu Yu Hakusho. Drop Gundam. Drop whatever you're planning to do. Drop it. Rethink it. Rethink it, because maybe you can come out with something better later. Like, maybe you can actually sit and analyze these anime and come up with something better later. Until then, leave it alone. Make your own stuff. Take these stories. Watch through some of them, because if y'all claim y'all watched through One Piece, I know you're lying. Because y'all didn't watch through Cowboy Bebop, and that was one season long. I know if you say you watch One Piece, you're lying. Stupid Netflix. So, actually watch through some of it. Analyze what's there. Make a story based on it with different characters and a different core story. Do your thing. Call it something else. Give it a different plot. Make your own stuff. Make new stuff. We have to keep adapting everything. Soon you're going to run out of ideas to adapt things, and you're going to readapt everything. And we're literally just going to be sitting in a loop of we're watching the same shows over and over again with someone else holding the camera. And that's not a good idea either. Just leave it alone. Please. Get some help. All right. Enough about that craziness. Last thing I want to get covered today. And I don't really want to make this a very long one. I think other people will be able to, like, you could go out all over YouTube and hear more on this. I just wanted to get my 2 cents out there. So recently, there are some Twitch streamers that got in trouble for a little oopsie. They decided to use the word akin to a Ritz cracker, but not used as a Ritz cracker. They took the word cracker and decided it was fair to use it as a slur. Live. Now, say what you want about the word itself, about the meaning, about the slur, whatever. But we can't, like, here's the thing. You can't start saying, I'm allowed to say this thing because of the way that it applies to this group of people, and be like, no, that's totally fine because of who it is. No. Because if you can't say slurs, anti-Asian slurs, if you can't say anti-black slurs, if you can't say anti-Hispanic slurs, then why would you be able to say an anti-white slur and just be, oh, it's cool because it's anti-white specifically? Not cool. Doesn't matter who you are. We shouldn't be using them. And if the terms of service of a website says that you can't use this language against a certain class, race, sexual orientation, whatever, then it doesn't matter what the race is, what the group is, you can't use it in that way. You can't use it in that way. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, okay, so going this way. As a black person, I think it's fair that you can't say the N-word in any iteration on Twitch. I'm pretty sure that's the same way with YouTube, but I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine if you say I can't say it, because in my head, we just shouldn't be saying it. I don't care what you say in your private language. People get on that whole, oh, well, if you're white and you sing along with a rap song, okay, I really don't care what you say in the comfort of your own home. Honestly, you could say it all day. Soft A, the hard R. If you're in your home, I don't care. I didn't hear it. It doesn't affect me. When you're in public, on a public forum, online, whatever, don't do it. And if no one does it, what problem do we have? We don't have one, right? Because you can't call it a problem if there is no problem. I'm not coming to anyone's defense that wants to use any slur as a slur. Now, when someone says something, if they want to say it as a joke, about themselves, then maybe in context, like context matters. In context, I'd be like, I don't care if you let that slide. But if you want to use it to insult another person, I will never, ever once defend you. I don't care what the word is. I don't care if it has literally the negative connotations as a slur against against a group for immutable characteristics about a person. You don't do it. Just don't. No. Nope. Get out. Because that would be like me saying, oh, well, it's okay to use this Hispanic slur because, all the Hispanic guys I talk to, they don't care if we use it, so we should be able to use. No, because for all of your little friends that don't care that you say it because they're your friends, there's the other group of people that have no idea who you are that are going to take offense to it. And then it'll get into other words that you shouldn't say on the internet. And whatever. Free speech isn't really free speech. We gotta be careful with what we say against other people. We shouldn't be saying things against other people, especially when you want to be literally an influencer, a content creator creating things for other people. How can you insult other people and be that's okay? Now, it's fun to make jokes, but there are jokes that aren't funny, period, to people. Slurs don't make any joke funny, period. Leave it alone. Don't talk about it. Don't do it. When you say it to yourself, you say it to yourself. It is what it is. You do you. I don't care what you do in your own home, but as soon as you hit that record, as soon as you hit that live button, as soon as you whatever, you now have to be applied by all the rules of the site that you're uploading to, and that applies to written language as well. I don't want to see the stuff on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I don't want to see the stuff on YouTube, Twitch. I don't want to see the stuff on any platform that has the rules that say you cannot do it. Period. Let's make the internet a little bit better of a place so we can stop having these friggin' stupid, messed up conversations. Let's help make the internet a better place so I don't have to bar my kids from using the internet until 18, because would they even be able to understand the amount of garbage that's out there? The internet is trash. Y'all are trash, but I love most of you. All of you to an extent, but I love most of you. So let's do better. I know I hate that do better, but this is the time I think that it means something. Come on now. All this extra race stuff, drop it, because it means nothing to nobody. It's not doing good for anybody, and it's not helping make change. It's just helping make everybody look like idiots. And if you want to go out and look like an idiot on the internet, go for it 100%. Do you, boo. But if you want to look like a functioning member of society, let's be smarter about what you say or what you type. Think about it. It can't be that hard. It can't be, can it? I don't use this. I don't use it. Now I gotta go back through my other show and listen to all the episodes and make sure I don't use this language, because somebody will come back and be like, oh, seriously, Shadows, back in 2018, you said this. Okay. All right, cancel culture. Go on somewhere with your dumbass. Anyway, moral of the story. White slurs are still slurs. Don't do it. End of story. Peace. Okay, no, I'm not going yet. First of all, I do want to tell y'all, if you're a drinker, if you like drinking, if you like having fun and laughing at stupid stuff, check out my other show, 4 Too Many. The word 4, the number 2, the word many. I think it'd be fun that I said that on this show, right? You can catch this show on any streaming service that you might use for all your podcast listening needs. Also on YouTube. We're going to figure out how that's going to go. I might change it up a couple times. You might see whole episodes. You might see parts of episodes. You might not see anything at all. No, I'm kidding. It's going to be on YouTube. I swear. If you need to know where to follow, to connect with me, Discord coming soon, Reddit coming soon. I mean, they technically exist. I don't know if I'm going to link them yet because they're works in progress. But they're there. They're going to be used to connect with me. You can connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But most likely, if you want to connect with me, you're going to connect on Twitter, even though I hate Twitter. It's just where you'll get more interaction with me, I guess. We'll see. Stuff's going to change. Social media is going to be work in progress also. But let me know how I did. Like, comment if you're on YouTube. Wherever they have podcast reviews, give me a review. Everything helps. All your feedback. This is Seriously Shadows. You have just listened to and or watched, I guess, how do you watch static image? Because I'm not live yet. The Project SRS Podcast. Have a great day.